Hello, welcome to Old Nerd buys Bonelli Comics, uh, specifically Zagor Comics. Now, these aren't comic books, these are hardcover reprints of Italian comic books published by Sergio Bonelli, publisher, editor, or whatever. These are very nice hardcovers that are being put out currently by an American company named Epicenter Comics. I did a video a couple years ago on my collection so far of Epicenter Comics. I have a lot of these Zagor books. They've been publishing these for the last several years. I discovered it through Chuck Dixon. Many of you will know Chuck Dixon, famous comic book writer, wrote Punisher, wrote Batman, wrote Airboy. He has a YouTube channel, and if you're an old nerd like me or a comic book lover like me, I would suggest subscribing to Chuck's channel. He puts out videos every Wednesday or so, and he just talks about the biz, talks about his time in the biz. He's been in it since the early 80s and worked with all the big name companies and continues to this day to put out a lot of comics. He's a very prolific writer. But one of the things that he talks about in his videos is he used to have a segment in his videos called What You're Reading. And a couple years ago, one of the early videos that I watched when I started watching his channel, he talked about these Epicenter comics, the reprints of Italian comics. Zagor is one. Tex is another really popular Italian comic. It's these comics are still published to this day and have been published for a long time. And he talked about them, and it piqued my interest because it just seemed like classic adventure type stories, westerns. And this Zagor is actually a superhero. So I got into it, and I've been buying them. I don't read them as often as I buy them. But they're so nice that I just want to have them in my collection and have them on hand to read someday when I have time. I've read a few. They're very long. This one is probably the thinnest that I've seen, but these are really nice. Epicenter puts these out. They do what they do is I got this through crowdfunding. They do these through like Kickstarter, and they're good. Like Epicenter is going to print these books anyway, and then you know distribute them through traditional means to comic shops and bookstores and whatnot. But they do a nice deal for crowdfunding for early backers. You get a discount, and they put together these packages a couple times a year of whatever it is that they're reprinting. This was early this year, finally shipped to me. I think I got it in I think I backed the campaign in like January, maybe February, and these didn't arrive until June. So it was one of the longest waits I ever had from Epicenter from one of their crowdfunding campaigns, but well worth it. Look how thick this one is. These comics, they come out, I think they come out monthly in Italy. These Bonelli comics of Zagor and the others that I mentioned, they're like hundreds of pages. The comics are. So that's why these stories are so long. But they're just fun, great artwork, fun stories, adventures that take you all around the world. Zagor is like I said, I made a video a couple years ago about a bunch of these Epicenter comics that I got, and just trying to help them out, spread the word about them, because back then they really didn't have a whole lot of backers for their Kickstarter campaigns. And I tried to help out, tried to spread the word a little bit, and made a video. So if you go back through my videos on this channel, you'll find one on Epicenter Comics. But mostly what I found was I didn't really understand some of these Italian comic characters. So a lot of people who watched that video commented on it and kind of corrected me on like the powers and everything. So I'm not exactly sure. Zagor's got some sort of mystical superpower, and he goes around righting wrongs, of course. But I forget what it is. He has maybe strength, or maybe he's a normal man. I can't remember now. It's been too long. Uh, but anyway, the point is that these stories are fun. His comic relief side character, I can't remember his name. I've only read one of the stories, maybe two that I got over the years, because it's quite a commitment to read one of these. As you can see, they're quite thick, and they're very dense. There's a lot to read. So once you commit to reading one of these, you're going to be involved for a long time. But the Epicenter, I highly recommend getting these. If you're an old school adventure fan, you dig this stuff. And of course, the talking about Chuck Dixon again, these Kickstarter campaigns always come with the tchotchkes. That's a word I got from Chuck Dixon. A tchotchke is just the little, the little things, the little extras that you get that they make with these Kickstarter campaigns. Postcards. Each book's cover is a postcard. There's always a bookmark tchotchke included almost every time you get a comic book Kickstarter. And these nice full-size prints of each cover as well. So the price that you pay for these when you back the Kickstarter campaigns versus the cover price and the extra, the tchotchkes that you get, makes these well worth your time and investment. I can't say enough about Epicenter Comics. These are very high quality, very nice books, oversized, so you get big pages of artwork, and a whole lot of story, a whole lot of fun adventure story, and generally some fantastic artwork and some very interesting writing. So, again, any of my Italian viewers out there, or I guess these get released in like all over the world. Like they're popular in South America, in Europe. And like I said in that old video I did on Epicenter Comics, I got a lot of people from those areas, like, correcting me on the powers of Zagor and some of the other things I talked about. So if any of you guys are watching again, please feel free to refresh my memory on Zagor's superpower, or if he even has a superpower. I believe he does not. I believe he's just an ordinary man, but I can't remember. So please comment down below with the correct answer to this query. And otherwise, like, share, and subscribe. Stick around for more comic book and movie as well content, old nerd style. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.